In the current day, the state of Weekly Shonen Jump is possibly one of its worst ever, with My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and, allegedly One Piece, all working towards their conclusions. It leaves the magazine without a hit. It's something that the magazine has been desperately searching for as all these manga come to a close. While things like Sakamoto Days and Undead Unluck are enjoyable series that will come to be a new face of the magazine in some sense, they absolutely pale in comparison to the previous heavy hitters. A little over a year ago, in the summer of 2022, Shonen Jump greenlit something that might forever change the magazine. 2022 really felt like an oh shit moment for the magazine. Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece would both announce their alleged upcoming conclusions, while My Hero Academia was breaking right out into its final arc. Its first attempt to land a big new hit would be Akane Banashi in issue 11, which, to its credit, is doing fine. It usually gets at least top 10 on Oricon sales charts. However, it's not really the mountain mover that the editorial department would have hoped for. Earthchild by Hideo Shinkai would be the next attempt, something that would only last 3 volumes before its abrupt cancellation, after its fair share of criticisms for its all-over-the-place world-building and lack of direction. This is when the summer batch of series would come out, and to be frank, it wasn't just 2022 that was spelling doom for the magazine. Looking at all the series released between 2020 and 2022, only 10 out of 40 series continued serialization, or 25% of series. The summer batch would show them trying again with Super Smartphone, a mystery manga about a super smartphone. Needless to say, this one also did not see much success, being axed after just 3 volumes. Aliens Area would be about a boy who has some alien technology, lasting yet again 3 volumes. Only one manga would stand out, not just in the 2022 summer batch, but in 2022 to begin with. Ruri Dragon had a one-shot that was published in the Jump Giga magazine 2 years prior, before being serialized in the Weekly magazine in June 2022. Now, there's been a lot of build-up to this series here in this video, so surely it must be something special, so strap in, and let's discuss the premise of Ruri Dragon. Ruri is your typical high school student, but she's a fucking dragon. Now, when I say that this manga was an instant hit, I mean it. It is a popularity that could even rival some of Weekly Shonen Jump's heaviest hitters ever. With just its very first volume, Ruri Dragon has 200,000 copies in circulation, selling 74,800 of those in just its first week alone. That means it had a bigger premiere than My Hero Academia in terms of volume sales. Within 1 day of its release, Ruri Dragon Volume 1 was selling out at bookstores. This manga seriously knocked everybody's fucking socks off upon release, a hit absolutely nobody could have seen coming. It's just a girl who's a dragon. You know, what makes this so interesting? For a lot of people, Ruri Dragon is a breath of fresh air when it comes to the standard lineup of Weekly Shonen Jump. It isn't your typical battle shonen, it isn't heavily relying on exorcist or spirit manga tropes, it's just kinda chill, man. Ruri Dragon takes a super nonchalant approach to not just its premise, but its world. It wears its heart on its sleeve. Despite some series feeling that they need a really heavy action piece early on, Ruri Dragon goes its entire first volume without, well, really anything. This is sort of what sets the series apart from others running in the magazine at the same time, and why it succeeded where its fellow summer 2022 contemporaries failed. Ruri Dragon would also be praised due to its handling of the perceived oddity of being a dragon in an otherwise normal setting. Rather than having an entire plotline about how people would begin to perceive her now that she has developed horns and also has the capacity to, accidentally fuck you up, her friends and classmates readily accept her and act awfully curious about the way she is now. When it ranked first in the Nationwide Bookstore Employees Recommended Comics of 2023 survey, it was described as a story that will readily and smoothly accept diversity, a moving depiction of mutual understanding. A very loose and nonchalant approach to its premise, a very relaxed vibe in an otherwise not relaxed and battle-focused magazine, and of course, the Japanese high school setting pretty much set Ruri Dragon up for success. Many people would wait with bated breath for the future of Weekly Shonen Jump's next big hit. After only 6 chapters of Ruri Dragon, it would be announced that the series is going on an indefinite hiatus due to the author's poor health. This hiatus would not end 1 month after its announcement, or 2, or 4, or even 12. It has been over a year since the absolute powerhouse of this series has been put on hiatus, with our most recent statement about the return being from over 6 months ago, having the author state that they are doing what they can to return as soon as possible. I feel that the history and success of Ruri Dragon raises an important question about Weekly Shonen Jump as a magazine. In the current state, and to be frank, in its always existing state, where manga drop like flies, where its revenue numbers continue to drop, and when its circulation numbers continue to decrease, should it even continue to exist? As more and more online alternatives pop up, I feel we are left to wonder the validity of the magazine, and not just because of its regularly declining sales numbers, but also, is having this magazine really worth the continued grinding to dust of workers? I mean, just in recent years alone, we have people like Gege Akutami, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, posting basically unfinished chapters before taking a hiatus due to poor author health. You have Kohei Horikoshi, author of My Hero Academia, taking several sudden, unannounced breaks and barely releasing chapters that have some of the shortest chapter lengths I've ever seen. One Piece's Oda has openly spoken about the health issues throughout the years, such as sleeping for 3 hours, skipping meals to concentrate on his work, and suffering from moderate diabetes and gout from spending too much time in the chair. And you don't even have to look much further than Hunter x Hunter's Togashi. In a world where a magazine can continually produce people who essentially kill themselves for their work, regularly needing hiatuses or breaks due to continually failing health, leaving author comments about their decline, increasingly shorter and shorter page counts, and also series length in general, I believe the question has to shift from when will Ruri Dragon return to when will Weekly Shonen Jump be snapped like an Infinity War? As it stands currently, the business model of the magazine is one that thrives off of the exploitation and damage of its workers. Perhaps thrive isn't even the right word. It is a business model that is contingent on exploitation, and we see that firsthand with Ruri Dragon. Not even 10 chapters in, and the author had already caved from the horrid working conditions. The pressure of being the next big series also likely weighed heavily on him, as his already tight schedule was about to get even worse, as he was probably expected to produce even more art for things, whether it be color pages or whatever else editorial might want him to cook up. And as I've discussed in prior videos, a mangaka's schedule is already strict enough. A weekly release manga, in my opinion, is something that was born to collapse. It was never sustainable long-term for the workers, only something that is successful with the higher-ups. And we have seen Jump themselves branch out into different formats. Whether it be Jump Plus, a format where they have experimented a lot with release cycles, like Spy Family coming out bi-weekly, or Chainsaw Man and Shoujo X coming out whenever the fuck they want. There is also Jump Giga, which releases an issue every 3 months. These release schedules, in theory, should be vastly preferable to the weekly format. The main downside I could see, which as far as I'm aware, we have no data on yet, is pay difference. Since you are paid for page count, there is the possibility that people not operating on a weekly schedule are putting out less pages, and seeing less than they already did even as a weekly mangaka. So I ask again, why does Weekly Shonen Jump still need to exist? When its earnings are tanking as it desperately looks for the next Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen, grinding down its workers as it reaches the precipice of oblivion, only to fumble it in the last second. There is no place for this magazine any longer. For the sake of authors like Masaoki Shindo, as Shueisha rips and tears through its list of available staff, we should be hoping that more manga get the Black Clover treatment, an opportunity to actually live a life outside of manga creation. And while I am excited for Ruri Dragon's return because I did enjoy the manga, I thought it was fun, we have to ask ourselves if the return is worth it, if the author is just thrust straight back into the very circumstances that caused the hiatus to begin with. It's 2023, it's time to move on from Weekly Shonen Jump. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the funny YouTube algorithm. You can also become a YouTube member, which gives you access to behind-the-scenes content, a badge on comments and livestream chats, as well as the use of emotes and videos before their actual release. You can also check the description for socials like Twitter, where I'm objectively correct all the time, and Discord, where we talk about ReZero, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and stuff like that. That's about it though. Thank you for watching. See ya.